Well, the battle for Kobani has brought IS fighters right to the edge of Syria's border with Turkey. Our Foreign Affairs editor, Sam Kiley, is here with me. Sam, why is Kobani so important?
Well, there we got Turkey and Syria. Let's just take a look at where it is on the map. Slap bang on the border with Turkey. So that is significant, obviously, because of the strategic implications for Turkey of having Islamic State holding a major city. But it's also very important from the Kurdish perspective for two reasons. The first is a sort of recent cultural issue, which is that it was the place where the Kurds expelled the Assad regime from back in 2012. But also, this is the location where they've been able to take a final stand against the advances of Islamic State.
Yeah, so let's talk about the advance of the IS troops.
Well, there they are. They've been coming in from the south, southwest, southeast and due south, seizing this high ground, which gives them the opportunity to shell right into downtown, where there's been quite a lot of active fighting, street-to-street fighting here on the outskirts in particular. But the consequence of that, of course, has been this: a massive movement of refugees into Turkish territory, which has already absorbed over 1 million refugees. Very destabilising, and we've seen the results of that now today with a lot of Kurds demonstrating against the Turks, their failure to intervene.
Where is the front line?
Well, this is where it was back in September. A decent distance away from Kobani, clearly with the intent to attack. But let's look at it where it is now. Look at that. Right, it's pretty much encircled the whole city, and clearly it's been possible largely as a result of the fact that Islamic State have not suffered very many airstrikes. There were airstrikes earlier on today from the US-led coalition, but they've been pretty limited.
What about Turkey's response to this?
Well, the Turks have parked their tanks along the border with their guns facing into Syrian territory as a threat to Islamic State not to invade their territory. But there's no sign yet of any kind of intervention, either on a humanitarian level. There has been talk in the past of them setting up a buffer zone and so on. But so far, the Turks are just keeping what would you call a watching brief.
And all of this advance on Kobani has happened since the coalition campaign began?
All of it. But if we look at the pattern of coalition airstrikes, we can see something evolving. Obviously, Iraq has been a major issue in the defence of Baghdad. But look at that. There, the airstrikes have largely been concentrated down the Euphrates. If we take a closer look, see what's gone on in Iraq. There you've got Kirkuk, Mosul, the Sinjar Mountains, of course, the rescue of the Yazidis, defence of Kirkuk, and, of course, the Mosul Dam, and containment of Islamic State. So
and
Iraq,
we're only involved here.
And this is where the Brits are only involved there. But if we look at what's going on and has gone on in Syria, the concentration of air assault from the air has been down the Euphrates and along this road, which is also the main supply route for Islamic State in this area inside Iraq, and of course around Aleppo, where principally it's Al-Qaeda targets that have been hit. Kobani has seen relatively few airstrikes.
The airstrikes are now happening, but of course as the troops, the IS fighters, get closer and closer into Kobani, that gets more difficult, doesn't it?
Well, it does, because as you get closer into an urban area, you've got here, for example, a tank. It's out, it's in the open, it's a relatively easy target for an airstrike. But as it advances, and that is Kobani that it is heading towards right now, as it advances and gets into that urban area, it becomes extremely difficult, first of all, to find, but then, more importantly, to safely strike. And if you blow up a tank in an urban area, you get a lot of civilian deaths.
Sam Kiley, thank you.